Hey Kings, what's poppin'? It's me, James of Regret, and as usual I'm late to the party again. Sony recently announced that God of War 2018 is coming to PC, and of course they had to announce it the night after I published my last video and when I was taking a break. How typical. Anyways, what better way to celebrate Sony Ponies taking hard L's than to laugh at their antics on the home of the mentally disturbed? Twitter. Before we get to the meat of it though, JTech, the guy who sends unsolicited pictures of his schlong to other people, recently hit my boy Kim Josh-un with a false copyright strike. JTech said that he didn't give anyone permission to use his videos, which he says justifies his copyright strike. This is utter nonsense because 1. Fair use does not require permission, and 2. His channel literally relies on fair use to function. Do you know how many streams or videos he has where he uses other people's content? If we applied his standards to his own channel, it would have been nuked from high orbit years ago. So go on and hop over to my boy's channel and show him some support. He does the same stuff that I do, so he'll be sure to keep you fixed and a good pony salt. With that out of the way, let's get right into the fanboy salt, shall we? Embark on Kratos' deeply personal quest into the brutal Norse realms when God of War 2018 comes to PC on January 14, 2022. Whoa there, what's this, Sony? I thought God of War was only on PlayStation. We should really scrub that off the box now, seeing that it's on PlayStation and the PC. And really think about it, if this is how it's going to be in the long run, only on PlayStation really becomes misleading. Is it only on PlayStation? Or is it on PlayStation but the better PC port is coming soon? Congratulations to opening up your game to piracy for the 90% potato PC users. Ignoring, of course, that the game was top seller on Steam when it was announced months before launch, and it's guaranteed to be top seller again when it launches. In response to someone pointing this out, the sad Sony shill responds, Very confident of you using a Spider-Man gif. Wolverine and Spider-Man never coming to your crapper crying laughing emojis. Which is something these clowns said about God of War, Horizon, Days Gone, and Uncharted. Look how that turned out. They're practically guaranteed to get PC ports at this point. It's all a matter of time. This will surely keep us a steady and generous supply of pony salt moving into the future. And while we're drowning in pony salt right now, the ponies themselves are drowning in copium. And might I say right now that copium-infused pony salt is one of the most delicious out there right now. And to add to that, believe it or not, this one pony isn't even done producing all that good salt for us. After he gets BTFO'd in an argument about PCs not being able to run God of War properly, he moves the goalposts back to arguing about piracy. Most people pirate, those are facts. Imagine how good the game would sell if it had an anti-piracy protection, but sadly that never happens. Right, okay, let's break down this little sentence because there's a lot of bullshit in this. First off, he says most people pirate games and that's a fact. If that's a fact, he'll need to cite sources to verify his claims. I'm talking about numbers, piracy rates, all that sort of shit. I, for one, can say for certain that pirates do not hurt the gaming industry as horrible as this clown thinks it does. How so? By citing these numbers published by Sony itself. Look at that, 250% return on investment. That couldn't possibly happen if the majority of people were pirates like this pony is saying. Then he claims that games never come with anti-piracy protection. Anyone who has spent a reasonable amount of time playing on PC knows that games come with all sorts of piracy prevention systems for a very long time. De Novo is only among the latest in anti-piracy measures. There's a reason pirates have to crack games to bypass those measures. Once again, Sony Ponies prove just how retarded they are. Now let's move on to our next salt producer. I paid many more money on the black market and bought a PlayStation for $1,500 to enjoy exclusive games. But you port the games on a PC for exclusive games and PlayStation brand, which I really like. But now I am very upset with you. First off, it's your own damned fault for spending upwards of $1,000 for a gaming console that costs like $500. Like Jesus Christ, no wonder Sony has been so successful in recent years. They've managed to create a cult that is quite literally willing to burn money just to get their stuff. It's ridiculous, I tell you. Also, is it Sony's fault you spend $1,500 on a PS5? No, it really isn't. They sold that PS5 to retailers and that's the end of their problem. Retailers sell it to people for profit, and now those people are scalping it for even larger profits because dum-dums like you don't know how to control your own spending and are willing to fork over money that could have covered several months' worth of my rent. In the immortal words of the big man himself, so sad indeed. Enjoy spending over $1,000 on a PC that can play a game that was designed for a $400 to $500 console. Except you don't need to spend $1,000 to get God of War to run. I checked the math, and PCs that are around $600-ish are already more powerful than the PS4 and should be able to run the game better than those old consoles. These PCs will be able to play the game at a higher frame rate, on higher resolutions, and get the game to look even better than your $400 to $500 console. Goodbye, PlayStation. You lost the essence. The exclusives in more than 25 years of history. Goodbye. Ah yes, they've lost it. Clearly, Sony has gone insane by selling games to other platforms so that other people might play it. Of course, whatever gets you to sleep well, my guy. I am deeply saddened by this announcement. I had a lot of trust in PlayStation. Basically, I spent all money on PlayStation always, but now I feel betrayed. Oh, the horror, the humanity. Such evils are atrocities listed amongst the cardinal sins of man. Selling games on other consoles so that others may experience it is an act of depravity that only the devil could have thought of. Christ almighty, man. Imagine feeling betrayed over games coming to other platforms. That's quite literally crap gamer levels of pathetic.
This move is just to attract more people to buy PS5 to play Ragnarok. I'm sure they won't put anything else on PC for the next 4 to 5 years or so, and by that time you still have to pay full price while console players basically get to play it for free.
Are you sure? Are you sure that you're sure? You clowns were also sure that God of War was never coming to PC, that Uncharted was never coming to PC, that Horizon was never coming to PC. Now look at what's happening. Are you still sure? Also, he said that he can play it basically for free. Which is straight up wrong, but I'll address that after the next pony who says basically the same thing.
PC players get those $50 ready, while the game is free on PS5 at 4K 60 FPS. We appreciate you.
Except that it's not free. Like, at all. You have to pay a monthly sub to keep PS Plus games, otherwise they block access to that game. Like, how dumb do you have to be to not realize that? To be fair though, this isn't exclusive to ponies. Xbox also like to say that you can access games for free if you subscribe to Game Pass, which is not free, like, at all. You must keep paying to access those games. God, fanboys are so stupid. Here's a special one. This guy's tilted and trying to argue that people should have just dumped several $100 to play a handful of exclusive that you're probably done with after the first playthrough.
They've been able to play it since 2018. Stop this false narrative. You aren't entitled to anything just because you bought one platform and prefer it. They could have bought a cheap PS4 and enjoyed it, or played it if it was available on PS Now.
Why though? Why does it have to be on the PlayStation specifically and not everywhere else? This guy loves to make big talk about calling out anti-consumer companies, by the way. But of course, like all other Sony ponies, he can't
keep that same energy
and worship Sony and Nintendo, two of the most anti-consumer companies out there, with non-functioning refund policies both, might I add. Just goes to show how damaging the fanboy rot can get.
It's already a multi-platform game available on 2 different platforms. People can play it there.
Right. God forbid people rather play on the platform of their choice and not whatever bullshit anti-consumer exclusivity nonsense that the big corps peddle, right? They're just entitled sacks of shits for not wanting to spend hundreds upon hundreds of dollars to play a few games that I can count on one hand.
They had nothing stopping them in 2018 if they really wanted to experience a masterpiece. If I'm okay with waiting to experience a game, then it isn't worth my time. Far too many games coming out in 2022 to focus on playing a 2018 title.
There was something stopping them though. Exclusivity. Why should people spend hundreds of bucks just to play one game they may or may not like? That reeks of anti-consumer practices. And let's just turn his stupid argument against him. If I'm going to have to spend hundreds of dollars for another platform just to experience a game, then it isn't worth it. Far too many games coming out on a platform that I actually own to focus on a game that's coming out on another platform I don't. Anyways, let's just leave this concave head to sniff his own farts. The next one you gotta see for yourself. God of War coming to PC. Why the fuck did I waste $750 on a PS5 when I could have just bought a $1,200 PC and waited 3 years to play games from a totally different console instead? Fucking whole video game just shitted in my mouth and thronged. His outrage is even more hilarious when you realize you don't even need $1,200 for a good PC. $700 to $800 will last you a while and play most new AAA games pretty good. Add to that, you're saving more money in the long run through not having to pay for multiplayer, through better sales on Steam that come around more often, and through CD keys from third-party websites which a lot of the time offer games for pretty cheap. I do feel bad for the console itself though. It's gonna smell like crap after being dipped in the shitter like that. Speaking of crap, would you look at this? Another crap gamer statement that aged like fine milk. Courtesy of my man's Phantom Kaiju.
God of War will never come to PC. The day this happens will be dead of Sony PlayStation, and I'll switch to Nintendo.
And after rightfully being laughed at for his antics, Crappy Boy himself tried to clap back.
PC people, too busy pirating games and, claiming superiority. And, all while, playing at 1080p with everything, turned down. You couldn't pay me to, game on PC.
Whoa there, crap. Trying to be spicy, aren't you? Let me just obliterate your points like I usually do. PC gamers are too busy pirating games? Man, if only he had sources to cite for that one. I fortunately have my own sources to cite to disprove his claims, that being my own Steam account. Behold the results of not pirating games for several years thanks to Steam being overall pro-consumer. My account isn't even the most impressive. There are others in my friends list alone who have racked up a much larger tally count than I have. And playing at 1080p? Funny how 1080p is suddenly unacceptable when it's convenient to him. I can remember back when he was
hardcore Xbox.
He used to push that resolution didn't matter. Way too.
Keep that same energy.
Anyways, that about wraps up all the salt I could find for this video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, and join my Discord server if you feel like it. This is Teams of Regret wishing you all good luck and Godspeed. Signing out.